Hmm.
So I have added Linux file structure,
Okay.
most frequently used commands,
Okay.
how to create static library, how to create shared library, and how can we link these libraries to application.
Okay.
What is a code dump and how can we debug this code dump using GDB,
Hmm.
and how to debug application which has malloc, memory leaks, and all using Valgrind,
Oh.
electric fence,
Okay.
and also have added ultras,
Okay.
stress and ultras.
Yeah.
So this whole 14 topics will take like 30 hours of time.
Hmm.
So today we'll be starting with the most frequently used commands.
Sure.
So the first command is sudo. Sudo stands for super, S stands for super, U stands for user, do. So basically there are two types of users in Linux. One is a normal user, or second is a super user. So super user is the similar to the administrator in Linux. In Windows you have administrator, whereas in Linux you have super user, or we call it as root. So if suppose this is required when you want to perform any administrative task. So we have a kernel buffer in dmessage. So if I try to clear this kernel buffer, I have to say dmessage minus c. C option is for clearing the kernel buffer. So it says operation not permitted because I don't have permissions to clear the kernel buffer. So I can check the user. I'm a normal user, I'm not a root user. To perform this operation using root user, I have to prefix the command with sudo. So it asks me the password. Now the kernel buffer is cleared. So sudo is the command which is used to perform administrative operation. Okay. So the other command is by using sudo, you will be running in the Panther 2 user only. So whatever the user you have. But if you do sudo minus s, you will be switching to
Jamal,
hello.
can you able to hear me?
Yes,
Can you start from the beginning? Actually, I have missed that due to some lack of the internet.
you have okay.
Sorry for that.
Okay, let's start from beginning.
Yeah.
So the first command which we are discussing was the first command which we were discussing was sudo.
Okay.
Sudo stands for super, S stands for super, U stands for user, do is the do, super user do. So in Linux we have two kinds of users, normal user and root super user. We also call it as root. So super user is similar to the administrator in Windows. So when you can run the command prompt, when you do a right click, it will give you an option as run as administrator. So similarly, if you add sudo in before the command, you will be doing similar to the run as administrator in Windows. So we have dmessage. Dmessage is used to clear the kernel buffer. Dmessage is used to print the kernel buffer. If I want to clear the kernel buffer, I will add an option to the command -c. So, but this requires sudo permissions or root permissions. So I can do it by using adding sudo in front of it and say sudo dmessage minus c. So this will run the command under Panther 2 user. But if I want to totally switch back to root user, I will say sudo minus s. Now the user becomes root, and now each command I no need of adding the prefix sudo. I can just type dmesses c because it is already running in root user. Any command which requires root permissions, you have to add a prefix sudo. But if you switch to the root user by saying sudo -s, there is no need of adding the root command, the sudo command if you are in the root user. So at any time, if you have any doubts, just stop the class and ask me.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So we have seen the first command, which is sudo, which we'll be mostly using when you are doing device drivers. Not much used here. So these all commands are mostly used in our course and mostly used while you are developing Linux device drivers or Linux system programming. So next command is ls. ls is stands for list. So ls command is used for listing the files, folders, and directories. So ls command is similar to dir. So how good you are in command prompt of Windows? Like I'm just relating the commands to Windows. Did you ever use Windows command prompt?
Yeah, yeah, I have used that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So ls is like a dir in Windows.
Okay.
So, so when you do ls without any arguments, it will list you all the files present in the particular current folder. But if you want more information, you can just add hyphen l. When you add hyphen l, it will provide information regarding permissions, file size. So you see, it provided you information regarding permissions, uh, who is the owner of the file, who is the group, and size of the file, as well as the last modified date. So with simply ls is only giving the file names, but if I do ls minus l, it will also give me extra information regarding this file. So if I want to clear the screen, I just have to say clear. This will move it back to the top of the screen. So we are discussing on ls. So ls minus l is providing information regarding permissions, file sizes, and data time. So ls minus l. But you can see here the size is in bytes. But if you want this size to be in a human readable format, you can just say ls minus lh. H means human readable format. So now you can see the size, it added case. Wherever needed, it added kilobytes. For the remaining, it's still bytes, because this for bytes it is not going to add anything. But for kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, it will add here. So H, if you add, it is a human readable format. And then we have seen A option. A option is used to view the hidden files. Let's see if we have any hidden files here. So you can see there are two hidden files. Hidden files are files which starts with full stop dot. So you see we have two hidden files dot dot. Dot is a current folder, double dot is a parent folder. Let's create an header file. Let's create a file, hidden file, touch dot file. After ls, this file is not being listed in ls command because it is a hidden file. So if I want to see the hidden file, I have to use ls hyphen a, and you can see the hidden file is being listed in when you pass hyphen a option.
Yeah, Jamin, actually, what is the purpose of hidden files actually?
Like you have hidden files, like when you do a git, when you have a git repository, right? They
Mhm.
have .git folder. So such kind of files you can see by using hyphen a option. So there are many files like .svn folder, .svn files, which normally user will not be able to see. When you initialize a repository, svn repository, it will create you a .svn file. So they use it mainly to store some information, which it is only for the svn, not for the user. So svn maintains some information regarding the repository in the svn folder. Git maintains some information regarding repository in the .git folder. So all the objects and all, like what all changes if you do git status. So it is depending on the application. Depends on the application. Like if you're using Git, it has its own application. The way it uses the hidden files. So you can also create a hidden folder like so touch, but not using here mkdir .git. So it is not showing here. So now you can see I can maintain information which I don't want to show it to everyone.
Acha. Okay.
I can change the permission of this and I can only allow root user to access this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's remove it. So to sort the file, now you see ls minus l is giving information not in a sorted order. Some right, you can see the time is not in sorted order. So if I want to, it's sorted according to the number, the alphabetical order. You have 0 first, and you have 1 1, and you suppose if I want to sort according to the time, so I just say ls hyphen t, and if I want to say ls hyphen lt will give you more information. So you can see the last modified time, it is sorted according to a time. The time which is modified last, you are seeing it's on the top. The time which is modified very last, you're seeing means before this, you're seeing in the end. And you can change this in the reverse order. If I add r, it will sort in the reverse order. So you have seen ls option when you do ls. it will just list you the file. If you do ls-l, it will give you more information regarding the permissions, file sizes, last modified time, etc. If I do ls minus lh, h will add you the file size will be in the human readable format. If I say ls minus a, it will list you the hidden files. If I say ls minus t, it will sort you in the time. I can reverse sort by adding r to it. So ls command was this. You have any doubts in ls command?
Yeah, no, Jim.
You already know it.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we look in this. Next command is cd command. Cd command stands for cd command stands for change directory. So it allows you to change between file directories. So you know what is the absolute path and relative path? So absolute path is a path which starts from the starting of the root directory. So in in Windows you have C colon, right? So absolute path is a path in Windows which starts from C colon to your particular folder or file. In Linux we have, instead of C, we have the slash. So if I do pwd, it is showing me the current present working directory, which is an absolute path because it is starting from slash. You can see it starts from slash, which is the root of the file system, and then we have home folder, then we have Panther2 folder, then we have Linux system programming folder, then we have day one, then we have commands. So absolute path is a path of the file or directory which is starting from the root, whereas relative path is a path from the present working directory. So if I want to say relative path for this sudo, it's dot, because we are already in this particular present working directory. So it's a cd dot will be always in this particular file. So you can access a file either using relative path or using absolute path. And so let's try cd slash etc. So you are trying, the slash etc is an absolute path or a relative path?
It's an absolute path, right?
Because we are giving the root slash root. So when you do cd slash etc, we are changing to slash etc directory. Now if I say cd gdb, I'm not giving any path from the starting of the root. I'm just saying gdb. So this is an relative path.
Relative.
Yes. So I am in the gdb folder, which is present in the etc. So this cd gdb will move to the gdb folder present in the current working directory. So I am in the etc gdb. So if I say cd without any arguments, it will move me to the home folder. So every user will have a home folder. To find out what is the home folder, I have to say, I say pwd. So my home folder is this. If I don't pass anything to cd, suppose if I am in temp folder, and if I don't pass anything to cd, it will move me back to the home folder.
Okay.
So suppose if we are in etc gdb, and if I say cd dot 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 means move back one folder, so it will move it to the parent folder. The parent folder of gdb is etc. So if I say cd dot dot again, the etc's parent folder is root folder, right?
Yes.
So I can use dot dot multiple times. So I say cd dot dot and dot dot. Now first dot dot will move it back to gdb to etc. Second dot dot will move it back to slash. Now I am in slash. So I can use this n number of times depending on where I am. So let's move back to our, when you say cd, it is going to the home folder. And in my home folder, I have this, and then I can just say day one, and I can say commands. I'm back to my notes.
Yeah.
So again, we have when you pass hyphen, what happens is, previously we were in, when we do cd, we were in home folder, right? Suppose if I am currently in commands folder. Suppose I am now into etc gdb folder. Now if I want to go back to commands folder, what you will do? If I go back to this commands folder, what is your option? Like what you will try?
Like cd
cd
dot 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 dot.
dot dot will go me to etc folder.
Yes.
Again dot dot will go me the slash folder. Now I will go to the home folder, then Panther2 folder. In that is my Linux system program. Then I will come to day one, and then I will come to commands. This is a way, right? There's one more way, easy way. Suppose if you want to go back to your previous folder, you can just say cd hyphen. Now I come, this previous folder was this. So I'm directly coming to my previous folder.
Okay. So it's an old directory.
It's an old directory. So whatever is your old directory, whenever you will be stored in this particular variable, and you say cd hyphen, it will go back to your old directory. Any doubts here?
No.
So now, no. When I say cd hyphen, what should be the output? Which directory it should be?
You should go to this one, Linux system programming.
No. When I say from, I came back from. See, it previously I did right cd etc gdb, right,
Okay. Okay.
and I did cd hyphen.
Okay.
Now when I did cd hyphen again, it should go back to the old directory. The old directory was etc gdb, right?
Okay. Mhm. So
So if,
automatically it will change the directory.
yeah,
Okay.
now I am in temp. Now if I say cd hyphen, it will go back me to the this, because this was my previous directory which I was working.
Yes. Yes. It is a GDB.
Yeah. So cd hyphen will switch to the old directory, and cd tilt, this is called tilt symbol, it will move it to the home directory.
Okay.
So what is the difference when I say cd and when I say cd this? Both are same, right? Both are moving me to the same home directory. So where is this useful? So suppose if you are in temp, and if you want to move back to this folder, so you can just say cd tilt, means it is already expanding it to home slash panther2,
Okay.
and then you can tab it and you can move it to your this folder. Now you are in this folder.
Okay.
But with this, if you just say cd and then you have to run one more command, two commands to come back to this folder, right? If you know already that you have a folder in the home directory, you can use tilt symbol, and then you can give the path from the home directory
Okay.
instead of giving it from the slash home panther2 and then all. If you know it is present in your home directory, you can just give the tilt symbol.
Okay.
So we have seen commands of cd. We have seen how to pass it an absolute path. We have seen relative path. When you say cd, it will go back to the home directory. If you say cd dot dot, it will move it back to the parent directory. If I say cd hyphen, it will change to the old directory. If I say cd tilt, it will change back to the home directory. So this is a cd. Now let's do some more files operations. We have seen pwd command, right? Pwd command will print the current working directory. We have already seen this.
Yes.
So when I do pwd, it will print me the present working directory. So there's no options, but this is mainly used in your shell scripts. Is mostly used there, and if you want to find out what is your current working directory. Touch command allows user to create files from the command line interface. So if you want to create a file from your command line, with GUI you can just do a right click and create new file. But if you want to create a file from command line, you can use touch command. Touch command for the name of the file, and if you have any extension, that extension. So I can create a file. So I don't have file.txt. I say touch. Touch is the command, name of the file, dot extension. So you can see that file is being created.
So Jamal, this touch sub will also support .c files also.
Any commands, any file. See this extension, you just have to say. You can see the syntax, right? File name dot extension. So if I want to create a .c, I can just say .c and I can write the code. It will work.
Yes. Okay.
So you can just say stdio.h int make file, or you can see gcc. So it works, right?
Yes.
So it works for any kind of files. So touch command is used to create a file from command line. It is not, you cannot create a directory from command line. You can only create a file from command line. So touch has an problem. It can only create you a file, uh, not directories. So to remove a file, we have rm command. So let's remove a file. So we have created file, right? To remove this file, I say rm file, and that file is gone. So you can remove multiple files, file.c,
Jamal,
file.
this RM will remove the permanent. It will delete permanently. Can we get back to the file? Is there any other way to get back to the file, or it will delete permanently?
So rm actually, if it actually unlinks the file. So you have inodes and this data blocks, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it will not permanently delete any file. You can use any recovery software to get back to the files.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
So rm command will only unlink the file. You can say man. Okay, we'll see man pages data. It will just context will switch change. So rm command is used to delete a file. You can pass multiple files to rm in a single command. It will delete you all the files. So we have seen how to create a file and how to delete a file. rm command can only use to delete a files. If you are trying to remove a directory, it fails. So let's see. And if you want to delete a directory using rm, you have to pass -r, which will allow it to delete a directory also. But with touch command, you cannot create a file anyhow. No option is there. But with rm, you can still delete a directory if you pass -r. -r means recursively remove directory. So if you have multiple directories inside that directory, it will delete all the directories. You pass -r command. To create a directory, we have mkdir command. So we can create directory using mkdir command. So mkdir commands directory. So if I try to delete it using rm, it says cannot remove commands. It's a directory. So to remove using rm, I have to use rm -r commands. So it has deleted it. So mkdir commands again. So what clear will do?
It will clear the prompt, right?
Yeah, it will clear the prompt. So you can see there is one more option, Control L. This is shortcut for clear. When you
I
press
know. I
Control,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
Controller also works. Right?
Control L is another option. This is
Yeah.
easy way instead of typing the whole clear. So we were seeing how to create a directory. We have created using mkdir. To remove a directory, we have already a command rmdir.
Yeah.
So it will delete you the folder. Mkdir and rmdir for only for folders. Touch and rm are only for files.
But Jamal, this RM icon also for the directory only, right? For removal of
Yeah,
directory only, right?
it deletes all the files in both files and directories, whatever you have inside this particular directory. rm-r is similar to like rmdir. You can think of that.
Okay. Fine.
Internally, it clears all the subfolders also.
Okay.
So move command. MV stands for move command. It allows user to move file from one place to another. Like if you have a file in this particular location and if you want to move it to some other location, you can use move command. So suppose if I want to created a file, but this file is in this particular location. If I want to move it to temp folder, say move file.txt, the next location where you want. So now the file has been moved to temp folder. You can go to temp folder and you can see file.txt is present here. So move command is used to move a file from one folder to another folder. So if I say cd hyphen now, it will come back to my old directory, which is the commands directory. So there's one more use case of move command. Suppose if you have created a file and if you want to rename this file, you can use move command. So if I want to rename this file.txt, I can still use move command. So you can see now the file name has been changed to rename.txt. So move command has two use cases. One is to move a file from one folder to another folder. The other use case is to rename a file. And then we have copy command. As the name suggests, copy will copy file 1 to file 2. So you can give the whole absolute path or you can give a relative path here. And if you add -e option, what -e option does is will prompt you for confirmation. Like if you have already a file to present in this particular working directory, it will ask you whether you still you want to copy this file, because it will overwrite the file. So suppose I have a file. Suppose I have a file touch file1.txt, and I now copy this file into another file. So let's open this file and write contain something. File1.txt hello world. Now I copy this file to another file, file2.txt. Now the contents of the file will be same. So the contents of the file is same. Now if I already have a file3.txt, if I create this file and have some other contents, by world. Now if I am trying to copy file1 to file3.txt, which already exists, it will copy it, overwrite the file. But if I want to check whether, don't overwrite it, because I want to check whether the file exists or not, I can add -i option. -i option will check whether file exists or not. If it exists, it will give you a prompt. So it is saying file3 exists. Do you still want to overwrite? If you say no, it will not overwrite. I still have the old contents. But if I say yes, now the contents are copied.
Okay. Sure.
So this is mainly like if you are using shell script, if you want user to don't override existing files. If you have a shell script which is modifying existing files, you can use it.
Okay.
So -p will also preserve the ownership, the permissions, as well as the timestamp. If you pass -p, we have seen already clear command, right? Clear command will clear the screen. It will take the user back to the start prompt of whatever directory where you are. So the most important command in Linux is man. So have you ever used man?
Yeah, man pages.
Yeah, very important command. Man stands for manual. So if you don't know the syntax of any command, you just say man touch, the name of the command. So you will see it will give you the information. So touch command is also used to change the file timestamps. So if you have a file touch, so we already have a file 1.txt. It has been created at this particular time, 8:31. Suppose if I want to change the timestamp, I just say touch file1.txt. Now you can see the timestamp have been also changed. So touch command is used to create a file as well as change the timestamp. So when you have make utility, right, you have a make file system. When you want to compile, it will actually look into the timestamps.
Okay.
Make will actually look into timestamps. If it is modified, then only it will rebuild a particular source file. So what you can do is, you can, if you want to rebuild a particular file, you can just say touch, and it will change the timestamp, and the make will see the timestamp has been changed, and it will start rebuild the particular source file. So this is a use case of touch command.
Okay.
We have seen man. So we are going, man stands for touch manual pages. So man is actually divided into different sections. So when you do man, just a second, I'll just switch off that phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you do man, it will give you manual information about man. So man is a system manual page. So man page is divided into different sections. First section is for executable programs or shell commands. Second section is for system calls. Third section is for library calls. So let's see how this is useful. Now when I say man touch, it is listing you one here. One means we have seen that executables, right? Man, we have seen one means executable programs.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I say man printf, it is giving one. So there is a printf, one means executable. So let's see, we have printf executable. Yes, we have a printf executable. I can say printf hello. It is printing me hello. So printf is an executable.
Okay.
But if I want to know the syntax of C printf, so we know printf is a library call provided by C library, and library calls are present in section 3. Say man 3 printf. It will give me syntax of printf in section 3. Section 3 was for library calls, and now you can easily see the syntax of that particular library calls. So when you have a name which is present in multiple sections like printf, you can just use the section and find out. So suppose if I have write, so write is also a utility. So you can say write 1, right? But I want a system call. Write is also a system call. I say man to write. So to write. So write is also a system call. So we have seen, right? There were 3 sections. Man pages are divided into sections. First section is for executable programs, system calls, and library. So using this man page, you can differentiate whether you are using a system call or whether you are using a library call. So if you are using some particular API, and if you want to find out whether you are using a system call or whether you are using a library call using man page, you can find out. Like if you are writing a code which is platform independent, so you will be using only library calls because it is same in both Windows and Linux.
Yes.
Then you can use this particular man 3 section and verify whether using a particular system call or a library call. So we have seen man pages. Next, how to locate a particular file in the system. So we have 2 commands to locate a particular file in a system. One is the locate command, another is a find command. Suppose if I want to locate touch command, where is this touch command present in my system? I say locate name of the file. So it is locating like almost everything. So locate is not, it is touch screen also has touch. So it is locating everywhere where touch is present. So locate stdio.h. I want to know where is my stdio.h present. So it is locating everywhere. So it's already have number of tool chains installed. So you can see it's giving me all the stdio.h. So locate, there are no arguments to locate. You just say locate and file name to locate you every file present in that particular file system. So we have one more command known as find, and if say find, the syntax is find path. If you say dot, it means current folder. If you say from slash, it is a absolute path. So if I want to find out where is stdio.h present in the whole file system, I say find from the root of the file system, find me a file of stdio.h. So it is trying to look into every folder. You can see it is very slow when compared to locate. When I type locate, quickly it gave me the output. But find is slow, very slow, because locate uses a database. Locate maintains a database. It has a cache. So it will read that particular cache and it will give you the information. But find, it will manually go into each and every folder and look for the particular file.
Okay.
So that's why you can see it's very the time is very less in find, and locate is much faster because it uses a database. And you have to update, like if you're creating new files, it will not be able to locate you because like we have created this file. So I say locate quiz, or I can locate rename.txt. So it is not able to locate rename.txt, even still the file is present. But if I say find hyphen name rename.txt, it will still find me that, see it has found me the rename.txt. So it needs sudo permission to access some files.
Okay.
So you can just say sudo add sudo. It asks you for username. So it has not find because it may not be having the this particular thing. But find will actually find you wherever it is. So you can see it is finding this particular user.
Yes.
So the difference between find and locate is find is actually searching file by file, but locate is actually using a database.
General, this find doesn't have any database background?
No, it does not have any database.
Okay.
So if you want to update the database which is used by locate, you have to use this particular command, update database command. Then all the new files will be added into the database. And locate can locate you for that. But locate is very only one. You have only one argument. You cannot do, but just you can locate a file. But
Yeah.
find is very advanced version of locate. You can also locate files, configuration files. So start conf means files which end with conf,
Okay.
and m time is modification time.
Mhm.
So if I want to find all the files which are modified in the last 7 days, I can just run this particular command. You cannot do all those with locate. Locate only is just for searching if file exists or not. But with find, you can do multiple things. So you can go into man find. You can find out a lot of options are there. Options LH. We were using hyphen M time, right? M time is files data was modified and into 24 hours ago. We were using 7. So find for files which were modified 7 days ago.
Mhm.
So you can use a lot of options like whatever depending on your, if you want to have a permission, like if you want to find a file just having a particular permission, you can use hyphen perm, which cannot be used by using locate.
Okay.
Got it right? When we have to use find, when you have, if you just want to locate a file, just locate. But if you have any additional requirements like it should be ending with this file, it should be starting with this uh, particular pattern, then you have to use find command. So the next command is cat. We have already been using cat from starting of this thing.
Yeah.
So first we'll see echo command. Echo command, I think if you are using shell script, you already know what echo command does. Whatever the message you pass it, it will print you that particular message. So whatever argument you give it to echo command, it will just print on the console or command line. So if I say hello world, it is printing hello world on the console.
Okay.
So one of the option of is if you pass echo hello slash tab world, this will not work because it's still printing hello world. If I want a new line and I say bye world, this is not working. But if
Mhm.
I want to also include escape characters, I can just say echo hyphen e, and then I have a tab, then I have a new line.
Acha.
So this is one of the option if you want a printf like format. If you want to use the tabs, if you want to use slash r, return to the screen, carriage return and all, you can use echo hyphen e. So this is also used like if you don't want to add new line, you can use echo hyphen e. So echo hyphen e is used to enable special characters, escape, enable the interpretation of escape characters. And how have you used this redirect operator and append operator in your testing? When you're testing, when you run a command, it will generate you a lot of output,
Uh-huh.
right? When you run make command or bit break command or any
Mhm.
command, it will generate you a lot of output.
Correct.
So, but that output will be printed on the console.
Mhm.
But if you want to redirect that particular output to a file, so
Okay.
what you have to do is you have to use this particular operator known as redirect operator.
Redirection operator.
Yes. So any command. So this is a command. Suppose this is printing on the console. If I don't want to print on the console or std out, I have to use a redirect operator and say redirect it to this particular file. Now the command will not, output will not be displayed on the console. Instead, it will be present on the file.
Acha. Okay. Mhm.
Now if I use it again with a new content, it will override the existing file. So it will
Okay.
always override what if the file exists. If the file is not existing, it will create you a file.
If some data is there in the file, Jamie, it will ask for the overridden. It will give the pop-up of
No, no,
overridden.
it will not give any pop-up.
Okay.
So if you want to, instead of overriding, if you want to append, you have to use append operator.
Acha.
So this is a redirect operator. This will also redirect, but it appends the information to the existing file.
Previous data will be preserved by using append.
Yes, previous data will be present.
Okay.
Now the previous data was file 1. Now we have added file 2. We
Yes.
have
Yes.
both file 1 and file 2. So this is mostly used a lot of commands. And if you want to redirect all your output logs to a file, we
Mhm.
use this command redirect operator.
Okay.
So we have seen redirect and appending. Next we are seeing cat command. Cat command is used to concatenate the file. Cat stands for concatenate. It will display the contents of the file onto the screen. So cat file name. And you can also view multiple files. Cat, how many files you want to view? Like if I have two files, so cat file.log, cat file 1.txt. So it is printing first file.log and then whatever the content in the file.txt. So you can add multiple files here, any number of files.
Okay.
So if you want to create a file with cat command, you will be using redirect operator. So if you want to create a command instead of opening, so what we will be doing, we'll be creating a file touch file.txt, right? And then we'll be opening the file and then we'll be writing contents, right? Instead of that, if you want to create a command, if you want to create a file and write directly from the console, you say cat file.txt. So what it is doing is it is redirecting std in standard input to this file. We have standard input, we have standard output, right? So this is redirecting standard input to this file. So now I'm writing on the screen. And now if I want to stop this, I have to save this, I have to press Control D. This is saved. Now I have the content of whatever I have written in the file.txt.
Okay.
So what we did is we actually redirected standard input to this file. And we were typing on the screen.
This cat command doesn't support the escape characters?
Now if you use cat command, you are writing actually normal text. There's nothing like interpretation of escape characters or not.
Okay.
So it's a normal text, like what do you do when you open a file and write. It does not understand what is on a /t and all, unless it is a C file or something, right?
Okay.
Unless you are using a printf and all. So just whatever you write, it will be present in the file. So same thing, whatever you write, it will be present.
Okay.
So with -n, you can also display the line numbers. So if you say -n, it will also display me the line numbers, the first line, second line. We have two lines here. And we have already seen this append operator. So if I want to, when you do cat file.txt, it is actually writing onto the standard output. But if I don't want to write on the standard output, I want to write to another file, I can use redirect operator and write to another file. So the contents of this will be written on this file.
Okay.
And this is like appending operator. So if you don't want to delete an existing file, if you don't want to overwrite, you can use append operator. So let's quickly complete other thing. Now you can see I have a long file and I always have to scroll up to go back to my start of the file. To avoid this, Linux provides commands like more, less.
Okay.
So more command is used to view the content page by page. So this is a whole page. This whole console is a page. So if I say more, it will only give me first content in the first page. Now I have to type space bar to move to the next page.
Okay.
So this way I cannot, no need of going scroll up, scroll down using your mouse.
Okay.
The problem with more command is once I come back to down, I cannot go up. Once I move to the next page, I cannot go up. There is no way. This is a drawback of more command.
Okay.
So to avoid this, a person written a less command. So he written less command because he was fed up with more's inability to scroll backwards.
Okay.
But why is more command still existing? Because embedded systems will have less memory, right? There you have to use, they will still provide you more command because more is using less. It has a less code. It is just doing a page down. As less command has a lot of logic. It has to move up and down. So the logic is more and size will be more of the less command.
Right.
So less command, you can use the same less command, less file name, and I can use page up, page down to move up, down. I am using page up and page down to move up and down.
Nice.
So this is more and less. But if you want only the top content of your file, you can use head command. I don't want to use whole, I don't want to page up, page down. I just want to read a few lines of the file, head of the file. You can use head command. If you say head file name, it will print you the first 10 lines of the file.
Okay.
Say head. If you have a longer file and if you just want to see the start of the file, when it will have the timestamp or something, I just say head 6. It is only printed me 10 lines. If I want to add more lines, I say head and 30. Now it has printed me 30 lines.
Mm-hmm.
So head command is used to print the head of the file or print the lines from the starting of the file. The reverse is
Tail.
tail. Tail command will only print me the end of the file. So it is printing the reverse.
So last 10 lines it will print.
Yeah, last 10 lines. You can see I have executed here.
Okay.
I have new lines in my file, so it is printing all those new lines.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
So one of the important use case of tail command is it has an F.
Mhm.
F means follow. So let's see if I have a file.txt. So I'm doing tail F file.txt. By default, it will print me the 10 lines, right? Now it is printing whatever is there. It's only having one line, so it is printing that line. Now in other terminal, what I will do is I will write to this file. So I have I have overwritten, right?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose if I append it, now I have appended world to file.txt, and you can see it has been updated.
Okay.
So this is continuously following the file.txt, like if there are any modifications or not, it will
Okay.
print you all those modifications. So this is a lot -F option is used a lot.
So head doesn't support -F option.
No, it does not support.
Okay.
You can see whether it supports or not. I have never used head. So you can see head does not have -F option.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
But if you say tail, F is there.
Yes.
Appended data, output appended data as the file grows.
Yes.
So we have seen head, more, tail, less. We'll be seeing pipe. Have you used pipe?
Yeah, IPC mechanisms. Right?
That is an IPC mechanism, but in Kamal, yeah, pipe is used to redirect the standard output of one command to standard input of another command.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is in file descriptors, right? When you use pipe, you can redirect one file descriptor to another file descriptor. Similarly, here you can use std out of a command can be connected to std in of another command. You can use pipe command. So
Okay.
suppose I say ls minus l, or I say I have a file this cat. I only need top 10 lines. I say hide -n. So I'm taking the input from this. This is writing to std out, and this is taking that from giving it to this particular command. So it is now printing the 10 lines. Now if I want to print the last 3 lines, so I have only printed last 3 lines. So I am now in this command, I have printed the last 3 lines of the first 10 lines. Right? You have seen cat is printing the whole file. I'm now using that passing it to head command, and I'm printing the first 10 lines. And then output I'm giving it to tail command, and then I'm printing only the last 3 lines. So using pipe, you can redirect out. You can give the std out of a particular command to std in of a particular command.
Okay. So is there any limitation for that journal? I'm going to say only you can use the two things, head and tail, or you can use any number of
any number of commands. Like if is the head and tail are just an example, I can use more. As a cat -more. Now it's working for more.
Okay.
Any commands. Just pipe is used to redirect std out of this to std in of that.
Yes. Okay.
So we have another command known as t command. This was like one of the interview questions which asked. I was unaware of this command.
Okay.
When you do when you write something on the screen, when you do cat, actually I'm writing on the screen.
Yes.
But if I want to redirect, I will use redirect operator, and I will redirect it to a file. But if I want both, if I want to have write on the standard output as well as redirecting on the file, then I will be using t command. T command performs both operations. So when I do df minus h, it will print me the disk file system size.
Yes.
By default, it is printing me the standard on the standard output. When I use t command, I pass it as pipe. I'm now connecting the output of this to input of t. I'm saying disk.log. Now you can see the output is on the screen. as well as you will have the output on the file as well.
Okay.
So it is, if you want both, like if you want also on the screen, also, also on the file, you will be using T command.
Okay.
Like this was one of the interview question they asked me like 3 years
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Then I was unaware of this command and I just look into it.
Mhm.
So we have another command known as PS. No, I will not be using cat because it is just using it. PS is stands for process status. So this is similar to your task manager in your Windows. You do task open task manager, you have all the tasks, services listed. Like you have processes in one tab, you have services in another tab. Similarly, PS. By default, when you type PS, it will only give you the information regarding two processes. One is your bash, which is this particular shell. Another is the
Okay.
PS command which you have executed. It has a PID information. This is a time information.
Okay.
So if you need more information, what you can do is you use PS-AUX. A stands list all the processes of the user on the system rather than the current user processes.
Okay.
And you will provide you more information about each process. When you say X, it will add all the processes including services or daemons. So when you do PS A, it is listing all the processes running. When I say AU, it's adding more information to this, like CPU percentage, memory percentage, virtual size, etc. When you say X, it will also list you the daemons. I can use LS. Now you can see anything. You know, init is the first process which starts on Linux.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that is the PID. It has a PID one,
One.
and you can see all these are kernel threads, or you can see this is a daemon. Anything which starts with this bracket
Mm-hmm.
is actually a service or daemon running in background.
Demon, what exactly is a daemon?
Daemon is a program which runs in background, which does not need a terminal to start.
Okay.
So I cannot, like when you have a program, hello world, you're starting /hello
Mm-hmm.
and you're running it in current screen. Now I cannot type any command, right? I cannot type any command, right? So suppose I have a file. So I write this. Let's take it from some here. I have hello.c. I'm copying it here. So suppose now if I compile this, now I run this hello. It is running in this particular shell, and I am unable to run commands ls or something.
Mm.
This is not running in background. Suppose if I want to run in background, what I do is I add ampersand. So now this is running in background. I'm still able to run my commands.
Okay.
So any command, any process which runs in background and which runs in while one,
Okay.
continuously running, is a daemon. Like you have daemons like TCP daemon, PPPD daemon,
Mm-hmm.
SSH, you know, SSH.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Serial terminal. SSH.
yeah, no, secure logging into network, remote logging, right?
Yes. Secure shell.
Yeah, SSHD is a daemon.
Okay.
So it runs in background. So now I have started this in background. If I want to know this, I can use jobs command. So it's saying running in background /hello.
Okay.
If I want to kill it, I just use kill percentile, whatever the number here.
Okay.
So now when you say jobs, it's terminated. I don't have that.
So it's a
So when you,
permanent kill.
yeah, permanently deleted now.
Okay.
So if any commands which you have started in, uh, which you have started in background, you can use jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can use it.
Okay. Okay.
So we have seen PS command, which is used to list all the processes running, including services or daemons. There's another option like PS-EF.
Okay.
What it does is more PS-EF. It will provide you again information about only processes. PS-E, but it is providing less information, right? There's a different types of information present here.
Okay.
So if you use PS-EF, you will get UID, PID, PPID, less information. If you
Okay.
use PSAUX, you will get some other information. Depending on what kind of information you need, like
Mm-hmm.
if you need this, you can use the particular command. So normally they will be using like these two commands. If you need only PID, then it's waste of using AUX and all that just for PID. So there's one more command, PS tree. So it will list you a tree structure.
Okay.
Somehow some problem in this particular screen. So init is the first process started, and it will started network manager. Let's open another stream. Let's see. Yeah, this is working fine in this screen.
Okay. Super.
So PS3. So init is the first process which starts.
Yes.
That is starting network manager, and then it also starting other processes. And you can see network manager is starting DH client, DNS mask. So PS3 will list you the processes in a order like parent and child relationship.
Okay. Okay. Jamal, one question.
Yes.
What is the difference between the PS and this top command? We have the top command also, right?
Top command will continuously poll, and it will give you the processes which are taking the highest memory on top.
Means it will give the real-time data.
Yeah, it is continuously calling process information, and it is giving you information. You can see the command is getting modified. Data is getting modified here, right? PS minus EF, you have to continuously call PS-EF, 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 right? But with top command, it is continuously running in while one and is giving you information like which is the top process taking a lot of CPU.
Okay.
Lot of
so
memory.
it's sort of according to the CPU percentage used.
We can change. You can change according. There are arguments to it. So you can see CPU percentage. For now, we can use top command and pass arguments to find out like if you want memory. We also have states here: running state, sleeping state. So more information like you can use top man pitch.
Okay.
We have seen PS command. We'll be seeing grep. Have you used grep?
Yeah, grep.
Let's change the terminal. It's somehow displaying wrong. Have you used grep?
Yeah.
Grep is used for searching a file, text in a particular file.
Yes.
So if I have a file, if I want to search for hello, I say grep hello and give the file name. It will grep me for hello.
Okay.
But if I grep capital H hello, it will not work because it is doing case sensitive search.
Okay.
If you want case insensitive search, hyphen I. Now I got hello.
Okay.
So using grep, you can do multiple things. Like if you want to look in all the files, just a second, I have to connect charger.
Sure.
So that is what grep hyphen I will do you case insensitive search. And if I want to search for all the files which starts with file and have a txt extension, I can use like this. So it is searching for all the files which starts with the name file, and star means anything and ends with .txt.
Okay.
So if you want to display the line number, you will be using hyphen R, hyphen N. If you want to do a recursive search, like if you have multiple folders, if you want to do recursive search, you will be using hyphen R option.
Okay.
And C is to count like how many times the particular information is present. Like I will say C, it will count me like in this file it is hello is one time, another time. So how many count of the particular string in that particular file.
John, what is this recursive search?
So suppose I have etc. If I want to search for Linux in etc, I say Linux dot. So it is as multiple directories are present, right? It will not allow you. You have to say hyphen R. So it is now searching in all the directories like san.d, bashcompletion.d, current files. When you are searching in directory which have multiple files, multiple directories, subdirectories, you have to pass hyphen R, which will do your recursive directory search. It will go into each and every directory and search for this particular.
Okay.
So this is what we have seen, like most important commands. Let's review like your whatever
Yeah.
you have learned is correct or not. So first question, what is our answer? Just go through a question and answer.
Yeah. First one is PWD.
Uh, which of the following commands is used to display both files and directories in the current working directory? PWD. What is the name meaning of PWD?
Present working directory.
It will only give the directory, right?
Okay.
It is used asked to display information about both files and directories.
Gotcha.
LS, yes, LS.
LS. Yeah, I don't know. It's a find.
It's searching for lines in a file, not a searching for files.
Okay.
grep grep
Grep. Okay. This will be
moving between directories.
CD.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to get the absolute path, you know what is absolute path,
Yes.
right?
PWD is the absolute path.
Yes, PWD.
Yes. MB.
Correct.
MB also used for renaming.
Yes, MB have both functionalities.
Yes. Yes. RM.
Correct.
So here CD dot means parent directory.
Yes, correct.
Uh,
That is what. Moving
yeah.
one level up.
One level up. Yeah.
Yes.
Statistics for the PS.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So I think you were able to understand all the commands. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's review some other very less frequently used commands. These were the mostly used commands. Uh, so we're not going to be doing much deeper in this. So
Okay.
let's say less. So word WC stands for word count.
What?
It will give you the word count of the file. So if I say WC file name, it will print me the word count. So first number of words, number of lines, number of bytes.
Okay.
Okay. If I
So
say
the
only if I only want number of lines, I say WC
okay.
FNL. So it will give me lines.
Okay.
So what we normally use is I say if I want to find out number of files, I say ls, I say WC hyphen L. So I know I have a 21 files here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
You can count it. And so ls minus L, it is giving how many, whatever the number of lines, right?
Okay.
And I say WC minus L, right?
Yes.
It is also counting this total. Yeah.
Okay.
So WC is like used like that. And you have various options. Hyphen C will count number of bytes. M will count number of characters. Hyphen capital L will print the length of the longest line. If you just say WC, it will show you lines, words, and bytes.
Byte.
Top command we have seen, it will display the top processes
Yeah.
sorted by CPU usage.
Yeah.
DF command display the file system usage.
Okay.
We have seen already DF command, right?
Yes. Yes.
So DF command, it is displaying in bytes, not a
Byte.
human readable format. If you say hyphen H, so
And
hyphen H always human readable format. We have seen hyphen H in LS. Now we are seeing hyphen H here. This will display you in gigabytes, megabytes.
Yes.
So df minus t will give you the type of the file system. It's already here. Df minus capital T give me that I am having my hard disk on this slash, and it is a ext4 file system.
Okay.
Uname command, it's used to display information about kernel name, host name, kernel release number, processor. So you say uname, just give you the Linux. If you want all the information, you say uname hyphen a. So you can get the distribution is Ubuntu, kernel version is this,
Hmm.
and when it is got generated,
Hmm.
the architecture is processor is 64-bit processor, x86 underscore 64 bits, 64-bit processor. If I want it, it is i686. If you have seen i686 here, it means it's a 32-bit processor.
Okay.
So using uname minus a, you can find out whether your processor is a 32-bit processor or a 64-bit processor. Date command, we have seen date command is like to print the current date.
Yes.
If you want to modify date, you will be using s and you will be passing a string. It will modify the date.
Gotcha.
Ping command is used to check network connectivity.
Mhm.
Which command is used to locate the executable file?
Okay.
So if I want to know where is my touch command, where is the touch command present? I'm able to execute touch command even if it is not present in this particular folder, right? So
Huh.
it should be present in some other folder.
Hmm.
Which touch? So it is present in
Very good.
user bin touch.
Okay.
If I want to find out mkdir, it is present in bin mkdir.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it is used to locate. So these are the executables which are present in the path environmental variable. So you
Hmm.
have a variable known as environmental variable known as path.
Mm-hmm.
So when you run a command, what it does is when you run touch command, the system will check in all these environmental variables. First it will check in this folder, this folder, this. If it is fine, then it will execute.
Okay.
But if I am just running, suppose if I'm running, I have this executable hello, I have to say dot slash hello,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I say hello, I already have a different program name hello. So let's
Mm-hmm.
move it. So it is running that particular command because this hello is present in user local bin hello,
Okay.
which is already listed here, user local bin.
Mm-hmm.
So now if there are multiple directories, but if you want to find out where is this particular which particular directory in this particular list of directories, you will be using which command.
Okay.
Whoami is used to print the name of current user,
Yeah.
Panther2.
Okay.
LSOFF is used to list all the open files.
Hmm.
And there are other commands. History command, whatever commands we have typed, it is stored in history.
Okay.
We say history. You can see all the commands which we were typing. Each
Okay.
and every terminal has its own history command. Like this,
Okay.
this will have different. If I type here, because it will not be present all those.
Okay. Zaman, can we erase this history?
As history -c, I believe. I don't have any history now.
Gotcha.
Okay. And we have final time command. So you have an executable. If I want to find out how much time it is taking,
Mm-hmm.
it's a time hello. It will give me 3 values. Real time is the time which you measure on your stopwatch.
Okay.
User time is the time which is running in user space. System time is the time it is running in system space.
Okay.
So time command is used like when you're building your Linux kernel and you want to find out how much time this particular Linux kernel build takes place. You can use time command and you can just say time hyphen make, and now you know how much time this particular make command executes.
Hmm.
Then you can switch to other task and you can do next time you're doing a build, you know, like it will take 1 hour of time. I can
Okay.
work on some other time, other tasks.
Okay.
So these were all the commands which we have frequently used in Linux.
Hmm.
In the next class, we'll be looking in the Linux file structure. Do you know already Linux file structure?
I know, but I forgot.
Yeah, oh, that's fine. We'll be seeing each and every directory. What is bin? What is user bin? What is s bin? What is user s bin? User local bin? User
Okay.
local s bin?
Okay.
Every directory will be going to touch like what all files are present in each and every directory.
Okay.
And in the next class, we'll be seeing compilation steps.
Hmm.
What are the compilation steps? How can we understand? It will be going deeply into compilation steps. What happens in each step? Pre-processing,
Fine. Fine.
compiling, linking, and assembling.
Okay.
And then we'll be going like creating libraries using them.
Yeah.
So you have any doubts?
Jamal, can I get